So have you ever had your heart broken? I'm sure most of us have. The question is, how did we respond? There's a great story in the Bible about a father who got his heart broke. It's in Luke chapter 15. Many of you have heard of this. We call it the parable of the prodigal son. But just real briefly, the overview of this and the backstory is that his father was very wealthy. He had two sons that we're aware of. And the young son just decided to get really rebellious. Went out and spent a lot of money and time and resources. Ended up broke. Ended up very, very miserable. Going back to my original question, have you ever been hurt by someone? Well, it's a very different picture when we look at the father, knowing he must have been heartbroken. Probably was a little angry, but very, very sad. He was estranged from his boy. Didn't know how to, some Bible times, you couldn't just reach out and call someone or email them. And so we have a very different perspective on his hurt. He being the father, wealthy father, was not telling people bad stuff about his son. He was not running his head. He was not angry. He didn't cut his son off. You know what he was doing? He was waiting. Unrelentlessly, he was waiting. So Scripture tells us in Luke chapter 15, just real quick, he said, this is after the son came home, but while the son was still a long ways off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion. He ran to him, threw his arms around his neck, kissed him, and then the son, of course, said, "Father, I've sinned against heaven. I've sinned against God, my Father, and I've sinned against my earthly father, and I'm no longer worthy to be your son." For the next few times that I do the bottom line, I will be talking about the context of this and just extracting a few points for all of us. Here's where I'm at today. I want you to know he was waiting on his son, and I'm sure it doesn't say it, but I'm sure he prayed every day. I'm sure he was passionately praying. I know he was probably asking about his boy, but his compassion was absolutely unrelentless. He was waiting on him. We had a little Boston Terrier one time that took up, they tell me Bostons are a one man or a one woman dog. Well, he had taken up with my baby girl who was in junior high at the time. And that silly dog, when she would leave the house, if he knew she was on the property, he would take his chin, put it on the windowsill, and cry like a human, waiting on her. He just loved her. And I almost think that's what the scene looked like there, the father just waiting for his son. He was really longing to see him. And I will say this, the son looked terrible when he got home. The son looked terrible. He had made terrible choices, partying. We know for sure because it's up in the story later that he was running around with hookers. He was broke. He was hungry. He was horribly embarrassed and humiliated. He was Jewish, and yet he had to take a job on a pig farm. So you can imagine what he looked like and he smelled like by the time he got home. But what's interesting is that father never brings that up. He was waiting for his messy child to come home. And I've always told people this: if you're in a bar or you're in a cafe or you're even in a church building somewhere, if Jesus were to come and walk into that room, you know where he's going to sit. Based on what we know about Jesus, he would pick the messiest, nastiest in their heart person and go straight to them. That's a picture of the unrelenting compassion that God has for us. So today, let me give you the bottom line, two things. Number one, if you are a believer that's walked away, just remember, you're never too messy for the Father. And number two, if you've never come to faith, there's never been a time in your life when you've invited Christ to forgive you of all that messiness, that junk, that shame, that guilt, do that today. Just say, "Lord, I'm a mess. I'm a sinner. Forgive me and change me." And that's your bottom line.